Paul, we're at King's College London. We've just been for the launch of the Wings for Life World Run. You've been helping out on the run and you're looking to do the run. You've got quite a story yourself.
Yeah, in 2008 I was snowboarding with some friends and I got caught in an avalanche that took me off a 200-foot cliff and resulted in me breaking my back and having a spinal cord injury to the L1, which at the time left me paralysed from the waist down, being told I could never walk again. I was one of the lucky ones who managed to gain some function, and I now am still paralysed from the knees down, but walk with walking sticks and leg braces, and do my best to sort of help promote Wings for Life and people with spinal cord injuries.
So they said we had a brief chat about spinal injuries, and they are looking for a cure for it. And you were saying, I mean, this is something that just happened to you. You left your flat, went off for a weekend, and you didn't go back to your flat for 6 months.
It's one of those things that it can happen to anyone. And I've got friends who, she was a young girl climbing a tree and just fell out of a tree. It can happen to all of us who've done these things, and what's the hard thing? It's just so instant, and it just changes your life. And it's not your choice. You don't have to accept it. You have to accept it. It has to come your way, and it changes your life so massively, and the people around you. And it's also coping with that. So there's the mental side and the physical side of it. And I don't think people quite understand that also the side of things that come along with it. You lose sort of internal functions as well. So a lot of people you'll see in chairs, it can take them 3 hours to get out of the house in the morning. So when you see them out and about, it's great because they haven't sat at home and they're getting on with life and really living it, which sort of for me makes me humbled and proud to sort of be part of that community.
It was quite interesting for me, just in terms of kind of research for a cure. I mean, you were actually saying just even getting some functions back is what a lot of people want.
Yeah, it's massive. Like the last 10 years, we've had a massive improvement, and I think we're going to see another massive improvement in 10 years coming. Because I honestly believe in my generation there will be a cure, and people talk about the famous learning to walk again and will they walk, and it's some people it's so far removed. It's like, so if you can't breathe, you're interested in walking. It's limited. It's you want to be able to breathe without ventilator. It means you can go on holiday. It means you can go on a plane. You can actually leave your house. And it's the same with people who've lost their hands. It means you don't have to have a 24-hour carer, and you can do things yourself like wash and do up a shirt, And it's those things. And for me, it would be graining internal functions back rather than being able to run down a beach again. And this is what this research is doing. It really is sort of small steps, but it's the small steps show big qualities of better life for people. So it's just brilliant what people are doing.
And as I say, we'll talk about the World Run, which is a great concept, very unique. And one of the big things is all for charity, which is a big plus. But everyone starts at the same time. There's lots of locations around the world.
And what's for me is open to everyone. You have like your marathons that you have to be a marathon runner, or you have to train really hard, or you have your fun runners, or you have your 5Kers, and this way everyone can come together. So it's a bit like sort of, again, from my angle, everyone, able-bodied, disabled, it doesn't matter, because everyone in my eyes has a disability, and it could be fear of public speaking, it could be busy paces, and it could be even, you can't run more than 5K and you can't run less than 10, and they can all come together and do it. And then again, for the wheelchair users, you can do it in what I call my day chair, which is what you'll see the average person go around the street, rather than a racing chair. So therefore, it doesn't limit the participation there, like whereas most marathons you have to have a racing chair and have done races before. And so I just think it's a great concept that everyone can take part and get their own individual goals out of it, as well as doing a great thing for charity.
And I'd say you were very sporting before your accident, and you've been very sporting since your accident. So I believe you did an Ironman?
Yeah, I did an Ironman. I did it for Wings for Life, and the whole concept was to retrace my steps backwards. So I did the swim in the Stoke Mandeville swimming pool, where I spent 6 months in hospital. Then I have a 3-wheel recumbent trike that I learned to lock my feet in, because I had to use my legs. So I didn't want to use anything. I wanted to use what I got back to help those, so I cycled that all the way from there through the home counties into London. I walked the marathon through London, doing 7 miles a day, and then I flew to France and I rock climbed the cliff I fell off.
Well, wow, and it must have been I'm sure it's not a pleasant experience, but to actually go back to the place where the accident happened,
it was the hardest thing was actually in the morning, because we left at sort of 6 in the morning. We were the only ones on the mountain, so I was left with my own thoughts of the sun sort of coming up. It took a couple of hours to drive up there, and that was the hardest, because everything came back, everything I've been through, every the negative things I've been told by people that I wouldn't walk, and all the it took the times when I thought, am I kidding myself? Should I get back in the chair? I'm so slow to get to places. And then it was obviously seeing it again for the first time, and realising how lucky I was to be alive, and how steep it was. But I had sort of some of the pain people who were with me when I had the accident beside me, and great teamwork. And if everyone does come together, these things, great things can happen. And then we got on with it. And when you've fallen over a couple of times down a cliff, you learn to concentrate more on what's in front of you rather than the mental side. And what I realised, it was like my rehab, little steps. So I didn't think I'm going to climb this big mountain. I just thought one step at a time. And then you suddenly realise after 3 hours you've climbed a mountain, and that's, I think, sort of the concept I went with.
And you're off to Rio, hopefully?
Hopefully. There's about 6 of us going for 4 spots, so a lot of training being done at the moment, and a lot of competition, which is good. So training hard, I'd love to go. I qualified for London for swimming, and then my classification got changed, so I missed out on that, but I had played an integral part in it. I was lucky enough to carry the Olympic torch, so I've had a touch of it, and it really does make you want to really get there. So yeah, training hard, and hopefully.
And that's wheelchair tennis?
Wheelchair tennis, yes, wheelchair tennis. So very fun game, and hopefully I'll be there.
Well, we wish you all the best. It's been great to meet you.
Thank you very much.
And we're looking out for you.
Thank you.